Here's an article out of the Washington Post about the horrible economic conditions of America. As we continue to report about our economy, we're going into economic slowdown, recession, depression, collapse. The headline reads, in a revealing interview, Trump predicts a massive recession, but intends to eliminate the national debt in 8 years. It's a long article. Let's get into it. Donald Trump said in an interview that economic conditions are so perilous that the country is headed for a very massive recession, and that it's a terrible time right now to invest in the stock market, embracing a distinctly gloomy view of the economy that counters mainstream economic forecasts. Well, yes, Donald Trump would be correct on his analysis of the economy, but I would also argue we're already in a depression, seeing depression level unemployment numbers if you're using the real metric for measurement, which is the U6 unemployment rate. Look it up, folks. They've been lying to us for a long time. Continuing. The New York billionaire dismissed concerns about his comments, which are exceedingly unusual, if not unprecedented, for a major party frontrunner, could potentially affect financial markets. I know the Wall Street people probably better than anybody knows them, said Trump, who has misfired on such predictions in the past. I don't need them. Trump's go-it-alone instincts were a consistent refrain. I'm a Lone Ranger, he said at one point during the 97-minute interview Thursday, in which he talked candidly about his aggressive style of campaigning and offered some new details about what he would do as president. Trump would, over the course of the discussion, the candidate made clear that he would govern in some non-traditional way that he had campaigned, tossing aside decades of American policy and custom in favor of a new Trumpian approach to the world. In his first 100 days, Trump said he would cut taxes, renegotiate trade deals, and renegotiate military deals, including altering the U.S. role in the North Atlantic Trade Organization, NATO. He insisted that he would be able to get rid of the nation's more than $19 trillion in debt over a period of 8 years. Most economists would consider this impossible because it could require taking more than $2 trillion a year out of the annual $4 trillion a year budget to pay off holders of debt. Trump vehemently disagrees. I'm negotiating all of our deals, the big trade deals that we're doing so badly on with China, $505 billion this year in trade. He said the economic growth he foresees as a consequence of renegotiated deals would enable the U.S. to pay down the debt, although many economists have said the exact opposite, that the trade war would cripple the U.S. economy. Wow. And the article goes on to talk about the campaign, about the nuclear deals and whatnot. You can read it. The link will be in the description below. But yes, we are heading into a massive economic slowdown, recession, depression, collapse. Do your own research about the economy, about how they're lying to us, about all the statistics, and do your own research about this very important 2016 presidential election. I'm voting for Trump because everyone is against Trump in the mainstream media establishment. Subscribe to this channel, speak out, and take action.
Trump's got lots of plans for America. A jobs plan, a healthcare plan, an immigration plan, to name just a few. Looking at jobs, America's favorite cookie will soon be made in Mexico. And Trump ain't going to eat that Oreo anymore.
Nabisco, Oreos, right? Nabisco, right? Oreos. They're closing their big plant in Chicago. They're moving it to Mexico. I'll never eat another Oreo again, ever, ever.
Ford's headed south of the border, too.
So Ford closes a lot of plants. They're building a $2.5 billion plant in Mexico. It's all right. Except what do we get out of it? And they're going to make cars and trucks and parts, and they're going to send them into the United States and other places. How does that help us? So I call the head of Ford. So I would say to him the following. I won't use his name because he happens to be a very good guy. But I would say, let me just tell you something. I want you to build it in the United States. I don't want you leaving. And if you do leave, and if you insist on leaving, you're not bringing those cars over free. You're not. You're not doing it. We're going to charge you a 35% tax on every car, truck, and part that you bring over.
Nice try, but it won't work. You can slap a tariff on foreign imports, but not on American companies, no matter where their products are made. An American company leasing land in Mexico is not foreign competition, as Trump says. It's using cheaper labor under the terms of NAFTA, which can only be abolished if the 3 presidents who signed it and their legislatures agree. It's not going to go away by a stroke of Trump's magic pen or his campaign rhetoric. Will we have better luck with immigration?
We have a wall that has to be built. We have problems coming in like nobody has ever seen before. It has to be built. Has to be built. We want to keep people here. We want people to come in legally. And I say, and so importantly, and I'm saying it all the time, we want to have a big door. We want to have a big, beautiful door.
The door's way too big as it is. Legal immigration has got to be more restrictive. For the restrictions on third world immigration were removed by the Open Immigration Law of 1965, pushed by the American Jewish Committee, a deliberate attempt by Jewry to dilute Christianity in America. If Trump was a true patriot, he'd slap a moratorium on legal immigration. We need to fix our own country before we open that big, beautiful door. But the sound bites keep coming in. Repeal Obamacare is also a huge crowd pleaser.
We're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to replace it with something that's going to be terrific. And it's going to be terrific. It's going to cost our country very little. And people are going to be able to have their doctor, have their plan, pay less money. You know, I say I'm a conservative with heart because we're going to have that great health care program, but we're going to take care of everyone. We're going to take care of people.
Sounds like a socialist to me. Taking care of everyone is right out of Bernie Sanders' playbook. Instead of Obamacare, we'll get Trump care. Big Brother will take your temperature and stick a needle in you too. So much for making America great again. Bottom line, Trump got the green light to launch his campaign in order to knock Rand Paul out of the race. Don't you know that Sheldon Adelson and the Republican Jewish coalition call the shots? And there's none they hate more than Ron and Rand Paul. Trump's just stealing their Tea Party thunder. He already signed on to the Republican Party platform with its Israel First agenda, and Sheldon and friends like that. Hate to burst everyone's bubble, but the Jews got their man in Donald Trump. He wrote The Art of the Deal. Now he's offering a deal to make America great again. That's what Trump's campaign is all about, and the crowds love it.
The American dream is dead, but I'm going to make it bigger and stronger and better than ever before, right? Right?
That's something Trump says Jeb won't do.
I watch Jeb Bush. I think it's pathetic what's going on. His stance on Common Core. He's in favor of Washington educating your children. His weak stance on immigration. He said it's an act of love. I mean, what kind of stuff is that? That's baby stuff.
And Trump's no baby. He built a billion-dollar empire in real estate because, he says, he's got the art of the deal down pat. He cuts and shuffles, and when the heat is on, Trump plays to win.
Are you considering at all, since you're getting heat from every single direction, is there any chance you'll get out of the race with this?
No, I love it. I'm bringing to fore and getting a lot of credit for it. Lots of different elements that are very important. We have incompetent leadership. We have leaders that don't know anything about negotiating. We're getting killed by China. We're getting killed by Mexico. We are a bunch of very, very foolishly led people.
Trump's right. Incompetent leadership. That's why Americans have dropped out of politics. Not out of apathy, but out of disgust. Trump wants to change that.
I tell about the bad deals that this country is making. Mexico, I respect the country. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our manufacturing. They're taking our money. They're taking everything, and they're killing us on the border. And Mexico does not like it. So remember this. Don't worry, we'll take our country back very soon.
And Trump's all about USA, USA, USA. He's an American exceptionalist. He wants to make America great again, but with the Pentagon at the center.
Our military has to be strengthened. We have to be we've never been in trouble like this. The world hates us.
But Donald, it's because our weak military has wrought so much destruction around the globe that the world hates us. The world hates Israel too, but not Trump.
My name is Donald Trump, and I'm a big fan of Israel. And frankly, a strong prime minister is a strong Israel. And you truly have a great prime minister. In Benjamin Netanyahu, there's nobody like him.
And there's nobody who could win an election if Jews aren't swayed. Enter Trump's daughter, Ivanka, who's married to Jewish real estate mogul Jared Kushner, who's got startup investments in Israel. No penny anti-marriage here. Ivanka married into the mega-billionaire Kushner family, who stamps a Jewish imprint on New Jersey politics. She converted to Judaism, and Trump's grandkids are Jews. They all keep kosher. Doesn't stop there. Trump's son Eric is married to Inside Edition's Jewish TV producer Laurie Anaska. Their kosher marriage was sealed under a crystal chuppah. And Trump's got a chuppah portfolio with millions invested in those tech startups in Israel. That's a special bond that can serve him well. For once his anti-immigration and lousy leaders plays out, he'll have to reach into his deck of cards. He's got a trump card sure to please the Jews. A joker writ large with, "I'm a big fan of Israel." Without it, even Trump folds up.